Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. My name is Joshua Hawley. This is the first canto with translations and purports by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada with the original Sanskrit slokas, English transliteration from Sanskrit, word for word translation, and English literal translation with purport. Starting from text number 24 today. Partiva Daruna Dumas. Start with the invocation. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayat Nasta Praeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Utamashloke Bhakti Bhagavati Naishtaki Shinvatam Swakata Krishna Punya Shavana Kirtanaha Hridyanta Sto Yabadrani Vidunoti Suritsatam Partiva Daruna Dumas Tasmad Agnis Trayi Mayaha Tamasas tu Rajas Tasmad Satvam Yad Brahmadarshanam Partiva Daruna Dumas Tasmad Agnis Trayi Mayaha Tamasas tu Rajas Tasmad Satvam Yad Brahmadarshanam Partiva Daruna Dumas Tasmad Agnis Trayi Mayaha Tamasas tu Rajas Tasmad Satvam Yad Brahmadarshanam Partivat from earth, Darunaha firewood, Dumaha smoke, Tasmat from that, Agni fire, Trayi Vedic sacrifice, Mayaha made of, Tamasaha in the mode of ignorance, to but, Raja the mode of passion, Tasmat from that, Satvam the mode of goodness, yet which, Brahma, the absolute truth, Darshanam, realization. Firewood is a transformation of earth, but smoke is better than the raw wood. And fire is still better, for by fire we can derive the benefits of superior knowledge through Vedic sacrifices. Similarly, passion, Rajas, is better than ignorance, Tamas, but goodness, sattva, is best because by goodness one can come to realize the absolute truth. Purport. As explained above, one can get released from the conditioned life of material existence by devotional service to the personality of Godhead. It is further comprehended herein that one has to rise to the platform of the mode of goodness, sattva, so that one can be eligible for the devotional service of the Lord. But if there are impediments on the progressive path, anyone, even from the platform of tamas, can gradually rise to the sattva platform by the expert direction of the spiritual master. Sincere candidates, therefore, must approach an expert spiritual master for such a progressive march, and the bona fide expert spiritual master is competent to direct a disciple from any stage of life, tamas, rajas, or sattva. It is a mistake, therefore, to consider that worship of any quality or any form of the personality of Godhead is equally beneficial. Except Vishnu, all forms are separated, being manifested under the conditions of material energy. And therefore, these forms of material energy cannot help anyone rise to the platform of sattva, which alone can liberate a person from material bondage. The uncivilized state of life, or the life of the lower animals, is controlled by the mode of tamas. The civilized life of man, with a passion for various types of material benefits, is the stage of rajas. The rajas stage of life gives a slight clue to the realization of the absolute truth in the forms of fine sentiments in philosophy, art, and culture, with moral and ethical principles. But the mode of sattva is a still higher stage of material quality, which actually helps one in realizing the absolute truth. In other words, there is a qualitative difference between the different kinds of worshipping methods, as well as the respective results derived from the predominating deities, namely Brahma, Vishnu, and Hara. Text 25. Vejire munayo tagre bhagavantam adhoksajam sattvam vishudam shemaya kalpante ye nutan iha. Vejire munayo tagre bhagavantam adhoksajam sattvam vishudam shemaya kalpante ye nutan iha. Vejire munaya tagre bhagavantam adhoksajam sattvam vishudam shemaya kalpante ye nutaniha. Vejire, rendered service unto. Excuse me. Munayaha, the sages, Atta, thus, Agre, previously, Bhagavantam, unto the personality of Godhead, Adhoksajam, the transcendence, Sattvam, existence, Vishudam, above the three modes of nature, Kshemaya, to derive the ultimate benefit, Kalpante, deserve, yea, those, Anu, follow, Tan, those, Iha, in this material world. Translation. Previously, all the great sages rendered service unto the personality of Godhead due to his existence above the three modes of material nature. They worshipped him to become free from material conditions and thus derive the ultimate benefit. Whoever follows such great authorities is also eligible for liberation from the material world. Purport. The purpose of performing religion is neither to profit by material gain, nor to get the simple knowledge of discerning matter from spirit. The ultimate aim of religious performances is to release oneself from material bondage and regain the life of freedom in the transcendental world, where the personality of Godhead is the Supreme Person. Laws of religion, therefore, are directly enacted by the personality of Godhead, and except for the Mahajans, or the authorized agents of the Lord, no one knows the purpose of religion. There are 12 particular agents of the Lord who know the purpose of religion, and all of them render transcendental service unto him. Persons who desire their own good may follow these Mahajans and thus attain the supreme benefit. Text 26. Mumukshavo Gora Rupam Hitva Bhuta Patinata Narayana Kala Shanta Bhajanti Hyanasuyavaha Mumukshavo Gora Rupan Hitva Bhuta Patinata Narayana Kala Shanta Bhajanti Hyanasuyavaha Mumukshavo Gora Rupan Hitva Bhuta Patinata Narayana Kala Shanta Bhajanti Hyanasuyavaha. Mumukshavaha, persons desiring liberation. Gora, horrible, ghastly. Rupan, forms like that. Hitva, rejecting. Bhuta, patin, demigods. Atta, for this reason. Narayan, the personality of Godhead. Kala, plenary portions. Shantaha, all blissful. Bhajanti, do worship. He, certainly. Anasuyavaha, non-envious. Those who are serious about liberation are certainly non-envious, and they respect all. Yet they reject the horrible and ghastly forms of the demigods and worship only the all blissful forms of Lord Vishnu and his plenary portions. Purport. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, who is the original person of the Vishnu categories, expands himself in two different categories, namely, integrated plenary portions and separated parts and parcels. The separated parts and parcels are the servitors, and the integrated plenary portions of Vishnu Tattvas are the worshipful objects of service. All demigods who are empowered by the Supreme Lord are also separated parts and parcels. They do not belong to the categories of Vishnu Tattva. The Vishnu Tattvas are living beings equally as powerful as the original form of the personality of Godhead, and they display different categories of power in consideration of different times and circumstances. The separated parts and parcels are powerful by limitation. They do not have unlimited power like the Vishnu Tattvas. Therefore, one should never classify the Vishnu Tattvas or the plenary portions of Narayan, the personality of Godhead, in the same categories with the parts and parcels. If anyone does so, he becomes at once an offender by the name Pasandi. In the age of Kali, many foolish persons commit such unlawful offenses and equalize the two categories. The separated parts and parcels have different positions in the estimation of material powers, and some of them are like Kala Bhairava, Smasana Bhairava, Shani, Mahakali, and Chandika. These demigods are worshipped mostly by those who are in the lowest categories of the mode of darkness or ignorance. Other demigods like Brahma, Shiva, Surya, Ganesh, and many similar deities are worshipped by men in the mode of passion, urged on the desire for material enjoyment. But those who are actually situated in the mode of goodness, Sattvagun, of material nature, worship only Vishnu Tattvas. Vishnu Tattvas are represented by various names and forms such as Narayan, Damodar, Vaman, Govinda, and Adhoksaj. The qualified Brahmins worship the Vishnu Tattvas represented by the Shalagram Shila, and some of the higher castes like the Kshatriyas and Vaishyas also generally worship the Vishnu Tattvas. Highly qualified Brahmins situated in the mode of goodness have no grudges against the mode of worship of others. They have all respect for other demigods, even though they may look ghastly like Kalabhairava or Mahakali. They know very well that these horrible features of the Supreme Lord are all different servitors of the Lord under different conditions. Yet they reject the worship of both the horrible and attractive features of the demigods, and they concentrate only on the forms of Vishnu because they are serious about liberation from the material conditions. The demigods, even to the stage of Brahma, the supreme of all the demigods, cannot offer liberation to anyone. Hiranyakashipu underwent a severe type of penance to become eternal in life, but his worshipful deity, Brahma, could not satisfy him with such blessings. Therefore, Vishnu, and none else, is called Muktipad, or the personality of Godhead who can bestow upon us mukti, liberation. The demigods, being like other living entities in the material world, are all liquidated at the time of the annihilation of the material structure. They are themselves unable to get liberation, and what to speak of giving liberation to their devotees. The demigods can award the worshippers some temporary benefit only, and not the ultimate one. It is for this reason only that candidates for liberation deliberately reject the worship of the demigods, although they have no disrespect for any one of them. Thank you very much.